I do want to pivot to a traumatic event in your life, if you don't mind. I know you don't often talk about it, but you've had to talk about it occasionally. You talked about it at Feather Lab a little bit. But your father, when you were young, was murdered just down the street from you. And I don't know what... I've never really talked to you about it other than what I read and what I heard you talk about that one night in Detroit. But how did that really shape you, either from at the time when you look back at it now? Because I don't know many people that had somebody taken from them in that way.
Right.
And I'm just curious how that's affected you creatively, your vision. You're very driven. You know, I don't know how it speaks in there, but how, if you're willing to dive into that for a minute.
Yeah. Looking back, I know like once it happened, when it first happened, I don't know why, but I got really quiet. You know, I wasn't really comfortable talking to people, or if people asked me how I felt, I didn't have any words for them. You know, I didn't have any words. I kind of got quiet. I kind of got to myself. I want to say music was it turned into a way for me to, it turned into a form of expression, a way for me to speak, you know, and so I really think in a way music was kind of like, music was my therapy. You know, music was my therapy. And not even just for that instance, but like going forward in life, anything that I was going through, if I had a riff with a certain person and I didn't know the words to fully express to them how I felt, I would write a song about it. You know, even if it wasn't necessarily writing words, you know, I would take that emotion and I would put it into the music for a song. You know, there's certain songs now that I can listen back to it, and just hearing the music alone, I know what I was feeling, you know, or it takes me back to a time I remember what I was going through at that time. Yeah. You know, and in losing my pops, I think it kind of forced me to find ways to express myself, you know.
Well, yeah, I think that it would be natural to kind of be more insular at first, you know, very inside, you know, who wants to talk about that? You don't even know how to process it, you know, and then everybody's asking how you're doing. You don't want to talk to them.
Right.
Yeah. But having the outlet of music, I'm sure, yeah, because it's such an emotional arc that you can create with music.
Yeah.
And that became therapy for you.
Definitely.
Yeah. This Full Exposure podcast episode has been made possible through the support of Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, who believe that creativity and the arts are essential to a rich, healthy, and fulfilling life.